Bullet Cast for life.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case if you don't, I'm a 25-year-old piece of gold, the messiah of the microphone, the greatest sports recreational podcast from the world today, and still your reigning, defending, undisputed Bullet Cast champion. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 Black World Champions walked out of WrestleMania. Bobby Lashley, Bianca Belair, and Philly Takeover. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I never do it alone. He's my tag team partner, the Jim to my Jay, the Teller to my Arn, the Stevie Ray to my Booker T. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the award-winning, Under the Radar, host and creator of Curveballs and Chair Shots, the first ever and 12-time Bullet Cast champion, BT, Brandon Tan Guma. Brandon, how you doing today, man?
Philip, I'm doing just fine. A little saucy. Had some drinks for WrestleMania, feeling fantastic. Yes, I did walk out champion after WrestleMania. Wasn't my best WrestleMania showing. I think I went 0 for 4 in the first 4 matches. Finished strong. Wise man says it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So hopefully I can carry the momentum over into night 2 of WrestleMania.
Absolutely. But we're not alone. I have my OG tag team partner. You know, he was a part of the tag team Unrated back in the day. You know, 3-time living room tag team champions. My homie Da'Mon McCoy is in the building. What's up, man?
What's happening? It's good to be here.
Absolutely. We are here to talk about WrestleMania. So, Brandon, tell us what happened to start off the show.
Well, to start, it started off like any other, well, not like any other WrestleMania, but it started off with Vince McMahon bringing out all the wrestlers lining up on the stage like good little boys and girls standing 6 feet apart, socially distanced. Vince McMahon comes out and basically says, you know, thank you to all the fans, yada, yada, yada. Welcome everybody to WrestleMania. Roll the video package. And we also get a America the Beautiful rendition from BB Rexa. Shout out BB Rexa. And that's kind of how we started WrestleMania, Philip. A lot of emotions. First-time fans being back in the stands for WrestleMania, for WWE in general.
It was great, man. I loved it. BB Rexa, my number is 510-517. DM me for the rest. It was cool, man. I mean, Vince McMahon out there with all the stars and saying, welcome to WrestleMania. It was the feel spot, you know? That was one of the many feel spots I had tonight. You know what I'm saying? Da'Mon, he got here a little late. He didn't see that part. You know, but he has some thoughts about the things that occurred in the actual in-ring competition of the night.
Well, luckily for him, WrestleMania didn't start on time because throughout the days we kind of heard rumblings that there was a thunderstorm brewing in the Tampa Bay area. So we go after BB Rexa, WrestleMania gets introduced. We throw to a video package or an intro, kind of similar to what we had last year to kind of play off the same tones. And we come back and Michael Cole, Samoa Joe, and Byron Saxton introduce the show. And then they just say, oh, guys, we're going to be in a weather delay. So the first 45 minutes, they go backstage. They do some promos. They go to the pre-show set with Peter Rosenberg, Caleb Braxton, and JBL. I mean, it's different. We never had a weather delay in WrestleMania history. Waited a year, a month, and a day was what they kept telling us. You know, what'd you guys think of what they were able to do to kind of, you know, fill some time? I did like how they did have some, you know, unscripted promos. The Bobby Drew one was a little awkward, but I thought as time went on, they did some good stuff. I thought Seth, he was just having so much fun, just, you know, fucking around with the new UK announcer. That was a lot of fun.
I did like the unscripted promos. You know, I mean, Seth Drip Rollins. It was cool. Johnny Drip. You know, he told Bad Bunny, you'll never be as moist as him because he's Johnny Drip. I chuckled at that. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Miz and Morrison, they're great on the mic. So them being uncut, real, no lines. I thought it worked well. And Lashley and Drew, it was a little, I didn't like that a whole lot. The promo, the match was cool.
Yeah, give him a little bit of, give him a little bit of slack because it was the first promo. They probably were just like told out of nowhere, all right, guys, go out there, fill 5 minutes, just kind of ramble and talk. The other guys, I think Kevin Owens, the match that he has to build up with Sami Zayn, it's not the best, but it's Kevin Owens. He's going to go out there. He's going to do his thing. And I really enjoyed it. So yeah, as you said, overall they had, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre. We got Shane McMahon. We had Miz and Morrison. Miz shows up, or not Miz, Kevin Owens. Basically a whole bunch of people just out there kind of filling some time. And it was kind of awkward at times. We did have Michael Cole and Samoa Joe out there in a poncho, and Michael Cole tries to get over WrestleMania, and he can just go off into the corner for timeout after that one.
WrestleMania. Did they try to chant that? Did they try?
Well, there was no one in the stands. So
that's true. I mean, yeah. It was interesting. It was interesting.
It was interesting. So then we get kind of right back to normal. They introduced Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan, the two hosts of WrestleMania. That's really the only time we really saw them. It's pretty much what we see in the other hosts of WrestleMania. They introduced the show. We didn't see them scattered throughout doing some skits and everything like that. So, I mean, nothing really to talk about here. It's more kind of filling time as they had the weather delay and fans trying to get back into the building or into the stands.
Man, Titus looked so uncomfortable being up there with Hulk, dude.
If you look on Titus's Twitter machine, he kind of likes some things that kind of insinuates that he understands exactly what's going on. I didn't find it, it was a coincidence, I would say, that Bobby Lashley was getting put over strong by Hulk Hogan, I would say.
No, he knew exactly what he was doing. I like your kind, brother.
Yeah, so first time we had fans back at WrestleMania, they didn't go to a full-fledged light up of the stadium. We couldn't see exactly how the setup was. We saw a lot of the fans on the floor. What'd you guys think of the crowd overall? Fans finally back. It wasn't the intense sounds we're normally used to, but it was fun to see a crowd back and hear some noise in the stands. Real noise, not some piped-in Thunderdome stuff.
Yeah, Da'Mon and I, we were talking about it, man. It's just we haven't seen them in so long. It was kind of weird to see fans back. I mean, I've seen fan footage. There were a lot of cardboard cutouts to kind of create the masses, the feel and the aura of WrestleMania. But I mean, they were getting pretty loud during some matches, and I quite enjoyed it. It was just it brought a tear to my eye, like Ric Flair at the '92 Rumble. Da'Mon, what about yourself?
I actually enjoyed it. I think it was very refreshing to have fans back in the stands, even though it wasn't as many as we are used to. It was very, very refreshing. I think the show and all was actually pretty good. I think it was very, very, very entertaining.
Yeah, I think, the very first match, we have Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre. I was getting some sort of feels because we actually had a real life emotion, real life crowd in the stands. Bobby Lashley takes on Drew McIntyre for the WWE World Heavyweight title. The match goes about 19 minutes and Bobby Lashley retains the WWE title with a full Nelson. A full Nelson actually wins a match. As I said, goes 19 minutes. Pretty much what you would expect between these two guys. They kind of busted out all the big time moves, but the one detractor for me personally, it ended with a distraction finish. Drew McIntyre in the corner, lining up for the Claymore kick. MVP out there just kind of yells, says something. Drew McIntyre looks over his shoulder, and that just kind of leads to his downfall. Tries to roll up Lashley, doesn't work, continues to put the hurt lock on him, and Drew doesn't tap, but he passes out.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Drew pass out before when he wrestled Roman at Survivor Series, and Roman locked him in the guillotine. I mean, it was I thought they were gonna do it, because of the whole he didn't get to win in front of a crowd last year thing. But my pick was Bobby Lashley. I was pulling for him. I thought maybe Vince will do something right, and he did. Congratulations to Bobby Lashley. This is the almighty era, and like I said, man, I love Drew McIntyre, but he kind of does represent that down period in the world of sports entertainment during the pandemic era of wrestling when they were in the Performance Center. Da'Mon, I mean, you were popping hard for the match too.
Well, I was really, really, really excited about this one. This was a match that I had been actually wanting to see, and I wasn't expecting Drew to tap out, but I also wasn't expecting him to lose by being locked in the hurt lock. I thought it was going to go, him and Lashley beat each other up, throw each other around the ring. There's a few dominators, a couple of spears, and it would end, but I wasn't expecting him to lose that way. But in all, beautiful match.
So Lashley retains. He continues on his run as the WWE champion. I don't know if this means Drew will win it back eventually. Brock Lesnar waited in the wings. Maybe do we see Brock and Lashley? That's a match a lot of people have been waiting for. Do we see it possibly at a SummerSlam this year.
I think so. I think that's a perfect time to bring Brock back when there's a more filled capacity of fans. Because I mean, Brock, he still has an aura about him, and that's a match people have been wanting for quite some time. Even when Lashley had his first run in WWE 10 plus years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I got to agree with you. Brock, he's been away for over a year. Who knows exactly what he's going to be. I think Lashley has been fantastic in his role. He can play a face or a heel. And no matter what happens, I think the match will be good. Da'Mon, anything about Brock Lesnar coming back? Does that excite you, Brock and Lashley?
Brock coming back does not really excite me, but I got to say Brock versus Lashley. Now that does make some hairs stand up on my neck.
All right. Then we actually did have one little segment with Hogan and Titus. They mess it up with the NWO. Bailey jumps in. We saw Bailey a few times. Nothing really to say here. Then they show scenes from the stadium as Cole talks about having some goosebumps. And then we get some songs and yada, yada, yada. We get the women's gauntlet tag team match. Winner of this match goes on to night 2 to face Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for the tag team titles. We start off with Naomi and Lana taking on Billie Kay and Carmella. My pick, of course, gets eliminated in the first round by a team that's not even really a team. Then Carmella and Billie Kay get eliminated.
Dude, we like all three of us. We all picked Naomi and Lana. I knew I should have picked Tamina. I
told you, Naomi. I told you Tamina and Natalya were the hottest team going into this match, and I should have just listened to my gut. But yes, why do I keep saying Naomi? Natalya do walk out of this match the winners. If I can get a timestamp on it, 14 minutes. The match was pretty rough. I will say highlight of the match and probably the most memorable moment of the match was during the entrances as Mandy Rose slips and falls on the ramp.
Yeah, that did happen. It's okay, Mandy. You're still the golden goddess in my book. You know what I'm saying? DM me for the number. It's all right. It wasn't all that. It was rough. It was rough. I'm not talking about Leon, but it was rough. You know what I'm saying? It didn't hit. I guess, the second match on the card is not where you want to be. And I hate to say this was the perfect spot for the women. No disrespect, but that's just how I feel. Da'Mon, what about you?
I would have to agree. I would definitely have to agree. Perfect spot for the women. Yeah.
I would say this was definitely a rough spot for them after the hot start and the 45-minute weather delay. You bring them in. It's a 14-minute match with 4 teams. It's going to be rapid fire. And they were kind of over ambitious with some of the spots that they did. And just kind of going back to the terrain in general, it was wet. I didn't really see them clean it up all that much. Even like throughout the show, you did see some wet spots, some rain drizzle on the ring apron. I did see Tony Khan tweet that he suggested that possibly they put carpet on the ring apron on the outside. I don't know if WWE will take his advice on that, but what did you think of, how, they didn't really interact on the outside, probably more for COVID protocols, but besides Mandy, I think the wet weather, rainy weather didn't affect the matches too much, but I think you could see the wrestlers were maybe a little bit hesitant in the way they worked.
Absolutely, 100%. As the night went on, you didn't really see too much hesitation. Like Cesaro and Rollins, they just went balls for the wall in the ring, which I can't wait to talk about that.
Well, that was the next matchup. We did have a sponsored 24/7 title, Bugenhagen Old Spice with Tozawa and Gulak. We didn't talk about the Old Spice guy winning the 24/7 title at the last pay-per-view, Philip. Well, that one's on me. As the guy who kind of leads these pay-per-view shows, that one's on me. Anything to talk about the Old Spice 24/7 scenario we got going on?
He won. It was a great moment. R-Truth is a great 24/7 champion. But you know how I feel. My homie Peter Rosenberg, forever the greatest 24/7 champion in the history of the title.
Then after that lovely commercial spot, we did get Seth Rollins and Cesaro. A lot of people thinking this match could have possibly stole the show. Only clocks in at about 12 minutes, but for what they had in here, I thought they packed a lot of stuff in. And Cesaro does get the win here. Cesaro able to top his 22 swings he hit on Rollins a few weeks back on SmackDown, clocking it at 23. And pretty much what you would expect. Not super high flying, fast paced energy, but it was a good, solid match from these two gentlemen. And Cesaro gets the win, by far his biggest win of his career. They really wrote home that this was his first ever singles match at WrestleMania after 10 WrestleManias he's been a part of. Big things for Cesaro coming in the future?
Possibly. Hopefully they finally pull the trigger, man. I mean, it was cool. He broke his swing record, neutralizers. Rollins busted out the pedigree one more time. I like this. Rollins with the cat-like agility, jumping up, doing the superplex Falcon Arrow. Seth Rollins with the drip tonight. I mean, Seth has been dripping all over WWE the last couple of weeks.
He's been looking fresh to death, I would say. I mean, he's a heel. Maybe dressing so fancy isn't the best heel tactic, but I gotta say, maybe he's doing he's looking very, very fancy. Maybe it's like the dad swag that he's obtained in the past few months.
Hey, man, Flair was a heel for the majority of the run, but the drip was there back then. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying, Philip. I would say this match was a really good, maybe not. I think maybe some people had some over expectations for this, and I thought this match delivered for what it was. Then we get Cole and Graves going to commentary talking about Jey Uso winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal last night, and Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode retaining their SmackDown Tag Team titles. Your guys' thoughts on SmackDown WrestleMania, aka the pre-show?
Bro, that's how stacked the roster is. 2 nights of WrestleMania, and you still can't get on the main card. It's unfortunate. Da'Mon, what do you think about that?
I'm actually very disappointed. I'm actually very, very disappointed. I mean, you watch something like that go down, you would expect them to make it to WrestleMania. And the fact that they didn't, it's kind of disappointing. I will say that.
I mean, you could have just thrown both of those matches on each night of WrestleMania. They didn't. I'm always the one to say not everyone needs to be on WrestleMania, but I don't think you should advertise a SmackDown as a WrestleMania. That might dilute the WrestleMania brand a tad bit. But anyways, no Tom Phillips whatsoever on this show. Michael Cole did do Raw and SmackDown commentary. I did see something that possibly Tom Phillips is getting replaced. Your guys' thoughts on apparently no more Tom Phillips? They didn't even acknowledge him, didn't say why he left, why Michael Cole is commentating both Raw and SmackDown matches. Kind of weird. But
I always thought they were gonna get rid of Phillips, because remember when that his text messages leaked and he said he was gonna do inappropriate things to a woman's face? Do you remember that time? I thought they were gonna get rid of him back then.
This is Bullet Cast After Dark, so I guess we can talk about that, Philip.
Yeah, dude. He said he was gonna fuck her face off, dude. You don't remember reading that story?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Oh, you just wanted me to say it.
That he was very aroused while on a plane and can't wait till he lands so he can do some things to his female friend.
I guess. Look, I mean, Tom Phillips, like Da'Mon, he said, who was that? Hey, man, it is what it is. I mean, he was good at his job, but hey, people have to move on. Charlie moved on. Renee moved on. It is what it is.
It is what it is. In the 4th match on WrestleMania, we get the Raw Tag Team Championships being defended. The New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston with Big E. Big E actually did the live introduction of the New Day, and they take on AJ Styles and the debuting Omos. And AJ Styles and Omos get the win. Styles was wrestling for a majority of the match, build up to the quote-unquote hot tag, and Omos just completely demolishes the New Day. Styles does get a phenomenal forearm, so protecting New Day a tad bit, but Omos just gets put over strong in this match. Only 9 minutes.
Bro, I mean, AJ and Kofi, they were wrestling. They were chain wrestling. Got a shine of 2008 AJ for a little bit. Thought he was going to pull out a Fosbury flop. Almost. I like him. He is something. It is something. I like it. He called Xavier a little bitch. The expression on the New Day's face when they were like, "Oh damn, what the hell do we get ourselves into?" And hey, man, him just holding up Kofi that high and then just dropping him and doing the Jericho pin, just the foot on the chest, the 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles, Grand Slam champion in WWE, almost his first match ever at WrestleMania. and he's a tag team champion with one of the greatest that's ever done this. That's awesome. I love it. Da'Mon, how do you feel about Omos?
I'm excited about the guy. I really, really am. And and Philip knows this. I'm huge on intensity and destruction. And one of the things that I really, really, really appreciate is the fact that I got to see somebody huge kick somebody's ass. I was just really excited about that. And I do see a lot of potential in Omos. I think he's going to go somewhere. I think he's on his way.
Yeah, the crowd, it seemed like they're behind Omos. They love New Day. AJ Styles is one of the best, and the crowd's going to love him. So, Omos was over in this match. He didn't do really a whole lot. It does kind of hurt the tag team division even more because really New Day was only the real credible tag team they have, and now Omos just destroyed them. I don't know where they go from here. Philip, where do you see Omos and AJ, especially because Omos is built up so strong in this match? It's almost kind of hard for him to really do anything else in the tag team division because of how dominant he was.
I think they have a year-plus run. You just keep lining them up, and they'll just keep knocking them down. I think that's what's going to happen here.
I don't know if we're going to see that dominant of a run. I could see possibly Omos breaks off from AJ. I did pick New Day to win because I thought maybe they play into that in this match, but no, they put the titles on him. Maybe they go down that route. And I will say Omos was, I don't want to say impressive. I don't put him over too much, but he was better than Giant Gonzalez. Low bar, but I will put him over that bar. He wasn't asked to do too much, which is perfect. It's almost similar to the Raquel Gonzalez match on TakeOver. She's green. He's green. Don't ask him to do too much, and as long as he kind of does what he's asked to do, he will succeed, and I did think he succeeded in this match. Then we get Braun Strowman taking on Shane McMahon. We get Jerry Lawler as the guest commentator. Why? I don't know. So Jerry can do some dumb jokes at Braun's expense, and Braun Strowman gets the win. As we thought, Riker and Elias attack Braun before the match. Braun gets thrown back into the cage. We go back and forth for a little bit. And the big spot of Shane, he gets tossed off the top of the cage down into the ring. We get a running power slam. Braun pins him 1, 2, 3. Braun also rips the cage. That's how he gets Shane into the ring after Shane tried to escape. So, I mean, pretty much what you would expect from this match, but good intensity from Braun. Crowd was behind Braun, I think, pretty decisively. Maybe some cheers here and there for Shane, but I mean, this was fine for what it was.
Hey man, I wasn't really all into this because you know how I felt about Braun the last few years. Honestly, I'm just like, I mean, he's big. I get it. He runs around the ring and he shoulder tackles people. Well, hey man, look, him ripping open the cage and bringing Shane in that way. It was simple, but I've never seen anything like that. Da'Mon and I were like, ooh, okay. And then, hey bro, when he threw Shane off the cage, if he didn't rotate well enough, he almost would have landed on his head. I was like, oh my God. And then the running power slam, 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, Braun. Another WrestleMania moment in the books. Da'Mon, how do you feel about LeBron Strowman?
Kind of the same way you do. I mean, it's kind of a blur when it comes to Braun for me. I do like him. I do like the character. I do, like big dudes running around the ring, shoulder tackling people. But I kind of feel like he could do more. I want to see more from him.
And with Shane in the ring, he's not going to be too credible against Braun. This match was pretty much what you expect. You get the two heels attacking Braun. So that's the reasoning for why Shane is able to get one up on Braun. And, Strowman was able to do some big man stuff. He looked great. I thought Strowman was in what maybe the best shape of his life. Don't know where you can go from here, especially with Lashley as the champion. I mean, Lashley is technically heel. Maybe you go down that route and we can see a Lashley Strowman feud for the title as we possibly build to Brock at WrestleMania or at SummerSlam or WrestleMania. We don't know. We get some commercials and we get the advertisement. Stone Cold very heavily involved in the WrestleMania in Dallas, Texas next year. So does that mean we're going to get Stone Cold Steve Austin returning to WrestleMania next year?
Look, the Texas Rattlesnake, my cousin, my other last name is Austin, FYI, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be at WrestleMania next year, and I think I might as well be too. Know what I'm saying? I'm excited, man. I think things will be quasi normal, whatever that's going to be within the next 365 days. But hey, man, Can't wait for WrestleMania in Dallas. Yes, sir.
They introduced the 2020 Hall of Fame class. Everyone, goes out and waits for the crowd. Then we get The Miz and John Morrison taking on.
Whoa. We can't just gloss over the 2020 class.
Sorry,
you have Jushin Thunder Liger, one of the best light heavyweights in the history of professional wrestling. You have John Bradshaw Layfield, one of the best heel champions in SmackDown history in the history of professional wrestling. You have British Bulldog, and another great. You have William Shatner, one of the best entertainers ever. You have the NWO, one of the greatest factions of all time, and of course the Bella Twins. Hey man, haters gonna hate, Bella's gonna ball, baby. Congratulations to all of them for going in the Hall of Fame. Yes, sir.
I know there wasn't that many fans in attendance, and it's kind of hard to gauge the pop. But I will say the lack of reaction that I heard for Jushin Liger's announcement, it hurt my heart a little bit. I will say, and also,
I mean, let's be real. He's not as big a star as the Bella Twins.
I guess. But you just said he's one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time.
Well, that we're hardcore fans. We know, but the casual fan, they're not paying attention to stuff like that. Da'Mon, what are your thoughts on the 2020 Hall of Fame class? I mean, you got JBL. We didn't like him as a kid. But I mean, the guy, he had a great career. You know what I'm saying?
No, he definitely did have a great career. I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I do. He definitely deserves to be there. The Bellas, I will say this:
they were the face of the division.
They were, but I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that one, about the Bellas going in the Hall of Fame.
More deserving than Great Khali, I'll say that. We can agree. We can agree there. Since
we talked about him a little bit, JBL did get some flack. He was on the pre-show, and they talked about Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks being the main event of WrestleMania, and they talked about how this being, history-making, two black women being in the main event of WrestleMania. And guess what JBL pulls out? It's not about black history. It's not about women's history. It's just about history. So he pulls out the All Lives Matter gimmick. Love to see it.
I had an encounter with the All Lives Matter gimmick at work and almost dropped that dude on his head. Yeah, I get what he was trying to say, that it's a huge moment, but hey, man, it is just about history, but it's about black history. It's about that's black girl magic that we witnessed tonight. All right, that's what it was. I'm not going to agree. I mean, I'll say this: was it just about history as a part of it? Yes, sure. But he was even bigger for representation for the little black girls that watched Bianca and Sasha tear it up tonight.
Perfectly said, Philip. Then we get like a hard right turn. We get a bunch of bunnies hopping down to the ring for Miz and Morrison as they do a live performance of Hey, Hey, Hop, Hop. Philip just going crazy over there. What you got to say about this?
Bro, this was like, I've never heard the Hey, Hey, Hop, Hop song. Like Da'Mon said, what the fuck is this? Like, I didn't have an answer. This was so bad. Like Miz, he was just the world champion. I feel so bad for him for doing that. We're going to talk about the match was something else. But that right there, I mean, a couple of bunnies only had like one ear. Did ears fall off when they got in the ring? Like, I don't know what happened there. Da'Mon. What I know you got some thoughts.
Disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed with the bunny scene. I was very I wasn't very entertained or pleased with that. I was genuinely pissed off when I saw a bunch of bunnies hopping down to the ring. I'm not a fan of the bunnies hopping down to the ring. Not entertaining, not fun. I didn't even find it funny. I didn't. I didn't like it. I didn't.
Yeah, it was something else. We do have some fan mail from In Brightest Day X.
Oh, we got a fan mail from Mr. X. What's he got to say about the bunnies?
He said, well, he didn't even say about the bunnies. It was about Bad Bunny. He said, was not expecting that from Bad Bunny. I guess the silly rabbit had a few tricks up his sleeve. Mad respect for what he did at Mania. I see what he did there.
So yeah, as we go from the I think the low light of the show with all the bunnies and the lip syncing and yada, 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 we go to possibly one of the best portions of WrestleMania. And who would have thought Bad Bunny and Damian Priest come out? They come out separately. Priest does his own entrance. Bad Bunny comes out on an 18-wheeler on a Mack truck. He makes his way to the ring. The crowd was pretty much crazy for him. I don't know exactly how many fans were there just to see Bad Bunny, but they did some spots of like fans, a lot of Latino fans were there. Sound like they were going crazy for him, and Bad Bunny was over. I know when it comes to celebrities in wrestling, it's always a crapshoot, especially with no fans leading into it. We didn't know what he was going to be, but Bad Bunny was over in this match.
Could we say that this is the best celebrity match at WrestleMania? I mean, we had Lawrence Taylor, we had Maria Menounos. We had Snooki.
Don't forget about Snooki. Don't sleep on Snooki.
Snooki 10 years earlier at 27. I mean, I think this was the best celebrity match in WrestleMania history. I can honestly say that.
Quite possibly. Bad Bunny actually started the match, and we kind of get the singles match we were advertised for a long time. Miz and Bad Bunny go on for a little bit, and Bad Bunny, he throws it wasn't the first, the greatest first impression. He throws a terrible Shane McMahon looking jab, but then after that I thought he pulled out some wrestling moves. Triple H put him over in a conference call saying that he's been busting his ass at the PC for a few months now, and Damian Priest and Bad Bunny get the win. You've probably seen on the internet, Bad Bunny pulls out a Canadian Destroyer on John Morrison.
Dude, we see those all the time on AEW. I popped for that. Like an Energizer Bunny. He got that energy, and then he hit a Canadian Destroyer. I loved it. I thought it was cool. Da'Mon, what do you think about Bad Bunny's performance? Yeah, like he didn't even know what a Bad Bunny was.
I didn't. I really didn't. They when I heard of the name, it kind of shook my brain because I'm like, what the hell is a Bad Bunny? Yeah, I'm thinking it's some girl group or some little, some chick, but it's this guy. And I gotta say, I was shocked with his performance tonight. I wasn't expecting that. When I saw the bunnies, all I could think about was, well, everything's about to go, to shit because there's a bunch of bunnies hopping down to the ring. And usually when celebrities are involved, I don't really get all that excited because the matches don't usually go that well. But this one, gotta say that was A1. I'm very pleased with his performance tonight.
The bunnies coming out, it definitely started the match off sour. It put him behind the 8 ball, but Bad Bunny came out on the Mack truck and the crowd was kind of going crazy for him. And it kind of just, showed me like, okay, the crowd. And I think if the crowd was positive towards Bad Bunny, the match was going to be successful. And if they kind of shitted on him throughout, then it was going to be a tough act for them to do. But the crowd was behind him. There's a lot of fans out there who obviously know who Bad Bunny is and we're behind him. And he impressed. Do you think this is the end of the road for the bunny? I mean, he was very successful. We saw Pat McAfee, a lot of comparisons to Pat McAfee and Bad Bunny. I think that's a tag team right now.
No, I think that's the match we need next year. Pat McAfee versus Bad Bunny. Hell, throw Stephen Amell in there. Make it a triple threat. Why not? I mean, we got the finish. Damian Priest, his entrance was badass. He looked impressive too. Congratulations to Punishment Martinez. I mean, the Doomsday crossbody. I mean, it's like Wale said, as fly as a crossbody. I loved it. I was a fan of it. Congratulations to Bad Bunny. He got to live out the dream, the dream that we've all wanted to live out. Being in a prominent spot at WrestleMania and picking up the 1, 2, 3.
This match had no business being this good, but it was that good. I would say, honestly, this was maybe my second favorite match of the show, but my favorite match was the main event, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. They put it over strong. First time 2 women singles match in WrestleMania history. First time 2 black women main evented WrestleMania history.
Let me let you in. The first time 2 black people have main evented a WWE show since 2001. Rock and Booker T. The first time any African-American female talent has main evented any prominent wrestling show since 1951. All right, Ethel Johnson.
A lot of history there.
Ethel Johnson, she just went into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to her. May she rest in peace. She paved the way for what Sasha and Bianca did tonight. I haven't popped that hard since Kofi won the world title a couple years ago, man. Congratulations to Bianca. Spoiler alert, she won the match. She's the new world champion. The EST is sitting on top of her throne in WWE.
Bianca Belair does win. She is the new SmackDown Women's title champion, clocking in about 17 minutes, maybe a little shorter than what people expected. I don't know exactly how much the weather delay might have played into the timing and how everything clocked in, but really good match. The story, Sasha really playing off of Bianca Belair's hair. Bianca whips Sasha in the ribs. I mean, just a deafening sound. Definitely, I don't think it was gimmicked whatsoever. That you can see a picture on the internet of Sasha's ribs, just a big old gash on her ribs. And Sasha, I mean, if this doesn't show you how great she is. I know Bianca Belair is fantastic. She's super athletic. She is maybe the best athlete in WWE, but I mean, Sasha, she's fantastic, and it's nice to see she wasn't in the 35 WrestleMania main event. Nice to see she's in this one. And Bianca Belair, she definitely held her own, and she was fantastic as well.
We've said it time and time again on this show. Sasha Banks is probably the most talented out of the 4 horsewomen. Charlotte, her dad's the GOAT. She's genetically superior. Becky became one of the hottest acts in the business for a little bit. Bayley, she's uber talented as well. But when it comes to that bell to bell, nobody touches Sasha Banks. Nobody. That's why she's the boss. That's why she's the blueprint. Da'Mon, take it away.
I'm in love right now. I am definitely in love with these 2 women. I mean, absolutely incredible performance. Absolutely. I don't know. I think I'm overjoyed right now with this, because not only were they the, first 2 women to do it, but 2 Black women. I mean, that means a lot in our community. And I got to say, I'm very, very proud of them. And I'm proud of how far we come, because we've come a very, very long way. Very proud, very pleased, very entertained. Absolutely loved it. Incredible.
Absolutely, man. Play Party Up, play Rough Riders Anthem. R.I.P. to the homie DMX. I know they celebrate him with that somewhere in the world or somewhere backstage. It was great. This was good, man. This was a nice first night of WrestleMania. Asuka and Rhea, they're gonna have to work hard tomorrow night. And then talk about main events. Roman, Uso, you listen to me. Edge, D-Bry, y'all gonna have to work extra hard to top what the girls did tonight. Yes, sir.
I thought this match was, fantastic athletically. They went back and forth. They told a good story, very similar to Seth and Cesaro, kind of on that type of front. But I would say maybe the finish came out of nowhere. I don't know, as I said earlier, what the weather kind of put into what the time was, because maybe they wanted to stretch it a little bit more. But overall, I mean, really, really great match here. And I mean, I was kind of calling for them to be the main event when Bianca won the Royal Rumble. Now, the story headed into it exactly wasn't that great, but as I had faith in them that they would pull it off and have a great match, and I gotta say that they did. We didn't do any grades for the matches individually. What would you guys give WrestleMania Night 1? What is the grade?
I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B for Bianca and Banks and Blueprint. B plus. It was cool. I maybe it'll change after I've had some time to really digest it. Da'Mon, what are you giving it? Night 1.
Night 1, B minus. B minus. It was very good, but I give it a B minus.
I think I'm going to agree with Phillip. I'm going to give it a B, but maybe kind of like a weaker B. The Drew Lashley match I enjoyed. There was a little bit of a lull, as much as I did like, kind of the matches in the middle, but it did, I think, close very strongly with the Bad Bunny and then the women's main event. So those 3 matches, I think, really, kind of held it together and give it that B rating for me personally. As I said, main event was my favorite match. And on paper, I thought maybe Night 1 was a stronger show. Maybe didn't deliver for me, but still a good show. Night 2, and hopefully, weather permitting, no delays, everything should pan out fantastically. And I do have quite high expectations for that triple threat match, because, seeing what the women did, I think the men want to go and top it.
You, the guy that hates triple threat matches, is excited and has high expectations for a triple threat match?
I can hate the concept of it, but when you're freaking, I gotta make chicken salad out of chicken shit, Phillip. All right. I gotta, do the best I can.
Hey, you know what? I did notice Daniel and Edge were in their ring gear when Vince was talking on stage. I was like, are they going to pull some New Japan stuff? Have those guys?
Roman, only person, non-gimmick, full suit. Love to see it. I mean, I guess he is full gimmick because he's in the suit, but I love that. That was fantastic. I love that.
Hey, that's the head of the table. He wasn't going to be in the gear. You get that one night only, and that's tomorrow night in the main event. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to do it for our recap. Da'Mon, was a pleasure having you on the show, my brother. Brandon, as always, it's been a pleasure. Guys, we will be back for night 2 of WrestleMania. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay safe out there in Tampa. Stay safe everywhere. Get vaccinated. So we can get back to normalcy. So hopefully next year, and especially in Los Angeles in a couple years, WrestleMania can have a packed stadium. Stay clean, stay strong, stay safe, stay quarantined. Diamonds are forever. So is the microphone Messiah. Enjoy WrestleMania, everybody.
This has been the Bullet Cast. Thank you for listening.